Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing again. I want to talk a bit about this Tyson Fury drunken little binge that he had, because, or more specifically, I want to talk about the reaction to it, because an awful lot of people seem to be saying, well, he got drunk, he had too much to drink, we've all done it, and he fell over and made a tit of himself, and who hasn't? And he's just one of the lads. And okay, yeah, that's true. But most of us, well, I was never a drinker. I'm still not a drinker, but a lot of people do it, and doing it occasionally, okay, it's not a major issue for most people. It can become a major issue if it becomes too regular, because drinking too much alcohol is very, very bad for you. But most of us, in fact, just about almost all of us, are not professional athletes. And we're certainly not heavyweight boxers who are looking to fight Alexander Usyk in a rematch. Pushing that aside for one moment, let me just give you an example, okay? Let's say that there was video footage of Tyson Fury smoking heroin. All right. Would you say, well, it's just a well-off, isn't it? It doesn't matter, does it? Or perhaps he's snorting a bit of Charlie. Well, does it matter? We've all done it. And well, let me tell you something, okay? Because a lot of people don't realise this, and I guess it's because one drug is legal and one isn't. But alcohol is a worse drug than heroin or crack. Now, I'm not saying that heroin or crack are not really, really bad, because they are really, really bad. But alcohol, when abused, is worse. I've said before on videos, I'd spent many years working with people with addictions. Okay, so I know a little bit about this subject. I've spent years working with these people. If I took someone who is injecting 10 bags of heroin a day into their groin, locked them in a room for 3 or 4 days, a week, we'll go for a week, fed them, gave them lots of food, gave them lots of water, no alcohol, but maybe some, fruit juice. And because they hadn't had heroin, they'd think they were dying. They'd have shivers and, cold turkey. I don't need to, you probably know what I'm talking about. And believe me, it's very, very bad. You feel like you are in hell, right? If I did that with someone who is addicted to alcohol, who drinks, let me give you an example. I once had a guy who drank about 8 litres of cider a day. 8 litres of cider. I can't drink 8 litres of water, but I had one guy. Now, he was addicted to it. If I locked him in a room for a week, didn't give him any alcohol, but gave him food and water and everything, he'd probably almost certainly have seizures. He might well die. Because unlike heroin, alcohol, your body becomes reliant on it. It messes up your organs. Never mind the neurology of it. These are all mind-altering substances, so they have a negative effect. But you've heard of people dying of cirrhosis of the liver, but it isn't just the liver that it affects. It destroys your organs. It can you see people with beer bellies, and the lining of the stomach can bleed. So when you go for a piss or a shit, you're passing blood, and it's horrendous. Alcohol, when abused, is horrendous, and I repeat, is worse than heroin, crack, whatever you want to say. And again, I repeat, I'm not saying heroin or crack is good. I knew guys I had clients anyway, who their friends used to call them gyro junkies, because when they were not flying. Gyro junkies, because when they got their benefits, the first thing they did was they'd go and score a bit of heroin or smoke a couple of rocks of crack or whatever, and then they'd leave it for 2 weeks. Wouldn't touch it. No problem. Might have the occasional drink, but, maybe a lot of it was weed. They just make do with a bit of weed. But they weren't. So are they addicted to heroin? Are they addicted to crack? If you take the attitude that a lot of people have to Tyson Fury drinking, well, it was just a one-off. It was, well, okay. Why not take the same attitude towards smoking a bit of heroin? Why not take the same attitude towards smoking a rock of crack? You do it once a fortnight, it's a little treat, you know. Addiction and abuse of the body and the mind, of course, because these are, again, mind-altering substances. And certainly if you're in the case, if you look at someone like Tyson Fury, who claims to be bipolar and has all sorts of mental health issues, alcohol, like heroin, is a depressant. So it will depress you even more. It will send you spinning, spiraling out of control even more if you abuse it. Basically, any of this stuff, any mind-altering substance in excess, including weed, by the way, including marijuana, because a lot of crap talked about marijuana, anything in excess will have a very negative effect on your mind, certainly your mind, your mental health, your voices, you get paranoid, your cognitive ability goes to pot, but also your body. In the case of alcohol, especially on your body, and it's not just a case of you lose your appetite, because a lot of you see, heroin addicts walking around and they're very thin, and that's usually because they've just neglected themselves. It's not because the heroin itself has it may have killed their appetite, but with alcohol it's different. It has a very powerful effect on the body. So, just to bring this all back to Tyson Fury's little binge, I don't think it's safe, and I don't think it's the right thing to do to say, oh, it was just him. He's just having a bit of a laugh. And I know he did a video, I think, earlier today of him. I haven't seen the video. I've seen some stills of him punching a heavy bag or something. All right, so what? I mean, if I was him, I'd get back in there. And by the way, I wish Tyson Fury nothing but the very best. I've criticised him heavily in the past during the lead, certainly the 18 months during the lead up to the first USYK fight. But I stand by everything I said. He deserves a ton of criticism for his behaviour and so on and so forth. But I don't want to see the guy, destroy himself. What's he got, like a wife and 7 kids or something, or an 8th on the way? I can't keep count with him. He's made millions and millions of pounds. I want him, and his family to be fine. I got nothing against these people. Just because I criticise them, don't mean I hate them. I don't hate them at all. But I would say my advice to Tyson Fury, or anyone else for that matter, would be, watch it, because sometimes those occasional binges can escalate. And you may have had a hangover occasionally. Oh, I got pissed on Saturday and Sunday. Oh, my head was hurting, and I felt I didn't want to see the world. I just wanted to hide under the duvet, and I drank lots of water, and I thought I was dying. You can multiply that by 1,000 if you continue to abuse alcohol. And no one sets out to be a junkie. No one sets out to be an alcoholic. It gradually creeps up on you. So especially if you do have that sort of, they call it the addictive gene. I mean, that's a video for another time. But it's certainly, most addiction is mental. 80, 90%, maybe more, maybe 90% of it is mental. It's to do with no, it can be anything. Some people it's because they've suffered trauma. Other people it's because they're just party animals that went a bit too far. But some people do have that addictive thing. They indulge. They like to binge on stuff, and whether it's, you can be addicted to cream cakes, of course. You can be addicted to biscuits. You can be addicted to gambling. You can be addicted to sex. You can be addicted to anything. It's a mindset. It's a psychological setting, a quirk, if you like. But I would say to Tyson Fury or anyone else, in the case of Fury, because he's a boxer, I'd say stay in that gym. Stay away from all the fucking, temptations of repeating that embarrassing scene of with your ass in the air kissing the pavement. It's not a good look, Tyson. And guess what? It's not the way to prepare for a rematch with Alexander Usyk. Trust me. So yeah, I just thought I'd do this video because I'll keep hearing people talking about this and saying all sorts of stuff. I don't want to overreact, but at the same time, don't underreact as well. All right. Anyway, comments below. Tell me what you think. I hope you liked the video. If you did like the video, and you could hit the like button, share the video, do all that good stuff, and support Joe Stunner Boxing, I'd appreciate that a great deal. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. As always, I'll get you later. Bye for now.